David Bossie is joining us. He's the head of Citizens United and an advisor to President Trump. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Thanks for having me.
David, the last time you and I talked, you were driving one of your kids down to college. I don't know if you remember that or not. We had about a half an hour conversation.
I do. I don't remember which kid, but I do remember the drive and the conversation because it's a long way to the University of Alabama from Washington D.C.
Yes, it is. Well, did all of your kids go to Bama?
The first two. My third one is a sophomore at Auburn University, actually, which is in Alabama, but they actually consider themselves the University of Alabama.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm a Gator, so that really messes up the mix. How are you though? You doing well?
Oh, we're doing great, and we're not doing as well as President Trump. He's just having an incredible run here. He has done so much in the last 10 months. It's been incredible to watch. We call it Trump speed for a reason. He is a machine that just keeps on going. You just look at what he's accomplishing every day, and just the deal. If you took 10 months on any normal presidency and announced a peace deal in the Middle East between Hamas and Israel, everybody would say this is the most successful presidency in a generation. But the left can't come to grips with him. They have Trump derangement syndrome, which is a real thing nowadays. And being able to watch America succeed every day is just. It's such a difference from the Biden 4 years of it's kind of like Reagan and Carter.
Right.
You had malaise. You just had this air of defeat in America after the Carter administration and after the Biden administration, and now America's back. And I think that we have we really have a commander in chief, but a back. And I think that we have we really have a commander in chief, but a cheerleader in chief as well. Somebody who just so loves this country, and you could see it every day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, David. The thing about President Trump is he wants what's best for America, and he is less concerned, about being a globalist. Now, does that mean he doesn't want to help out where he can, like he did with Israel and Hamas, and in 6 or 7 other conflicts around the world? Of course he does. But in all things, he wants to put America first. When he renegotiated the NAFTA agreement, the USMCA, he put in the most strident protection for American workers of any trade deal in American history. And he never got credit for it because, of course, they would never give him credit. But he always thinks about America first in any pursuit he does.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. It's a really, really important thing that people recognize. In a normal world, in previous presidents, they act in accordance with the old rules, and those old rules since World War II, since the end of World War II, has really not served America well. And the establishment, that those that run Washington, D.C., just continue with the old playbook. What President Trump says is, openly, I am going to put America first in my negotiations, and I expect other leaders of other countries to do the same, because they would not be. What that is an open respect for, I'm going to do what I need to do for my people, you do what you need to do for your people, and we'll come to an agreement, and it'll be best for everyone involved. And it's never done that way. Historically, over the last 40, 50 years, it's always been America cedes to everyone else's needs and demands, whether it's our foreign policy, whether it's our tax dollars going overseas to support all of these crazy things that we are now uncovering, or here in this country, paying from cradle to grave for people. Enough is enough. And so President Trump's just a breath of fresh air when it comes to an open and transparent administration, but also he just tells everybody what he means, and he means what he says.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, David. You know, the thing about it is that what Trump has done is he has upset what has become the new normal in America over the last 40 years since the days of Reagan. And because people were comfortable with that new normal, because people were profiting from that new normal, they don't like the fact that he's doing this. But he's resetting America back to an America First agenda where we're always paramount. We're number one in anything we do, or we simply don't do it. And it's hard for me to understand how Americans can't be excited about that. I know that I am. He wants to bring back manufacturing. He's creating incentives where that happens. He's creating disincentives for people to leave our country and go elsewhere with regard to manufacturing. We were talking about it here earlier. At one point, the state of Maine had 106 paper mills. 106. Today, we have 3.5. And it's because our state has driven out the viability of paper mills here in Maine. They were still making paper in the country, but we don't do it in Maine. Trump is trying to straighten that out. Instead of us being a bunch of globalists, we need to be Americans who are involved in the global economy instead of being globalist. Yeah, Dove, my buddy Dove's got a question for you.
Hey, David, this is Chaim Sachs. I'm the chairman of the PAC Common Sense for Maine up here, and actually the other folks in the room are all part of it as well. And we're trying to turn Maine red in 2026 and getting after it. First of all, thank you for all you've done over the years. You've just been a tremendous leader of everything, and we wouldn't be here if it weren't for a lot of your efforts, to be honest. So thank you for everything. It's really nice to connect with you.
Well, thank you for the kind words, but I can tell you, motivation, just like President Trump has, I love this country. And so, you know, what you guys are going to do is going to change state for the better, and it's the only way to move forward.
Yeah, I have a question for you, since you're more of an expert than any of us on these things. You know, we're in this state where things are fairly even politically. The levers of power are closely contested, and you know, we all in this room share your perspective on President Trump and how awesome things are, but there's people all around us who have, you know, an inverted reality around it and really think he's, you know, the worst thing ever. And they're the ones motivating the Democrat Party strategy and the way they're addressing all the issues. And so, you know, what's your view on how best to engage them, not engage them, whether it's best to try to find common ground, try to isolate them and take more of the mocking tone that perhaps they warrant? Just strategically, what do you think for this kind of context in New England, dealing with the kind of virulent hatred that we're up against in the political arena?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is I was born and raised in East Boston. My grandfather worked in a sawmill and a paper mill in Lincoln, New Hampshire, where he was lived his entire life. My dad is from North Woodstock, and so we have a huge connection to that area. So I understand it. Look, we have to have the language of common sense. We have to do a couple of things. One is we have to speak like Donald Trump in common sense terms that people understand, number one. Because all of this highfalutin language that it gets slung around in the Wall Street Journal and, you know, and around the smart people in Washington, D.C., what does Donald Trump do? He boils it down to the message that people understand and listen to, number one. Number two is do what Donald Trump and previously what Newt Gingrich did with the contract with America. What did he do? He took 70, 30, 80, 20 issues, and he picked them, and he used those to create the contract with America. He didn't pick a bunch of issues that were 60-40 or even 50-50. He picked issues that were overwhelmingly supported by your average American. And so in the Northeast, we have to make inroads. So we have to do those things. Speak with common sense language, boil it down in understandable ways that the average American speaks. And then we also have to be together. One of the things that I live in Maryland now, so I have a bunch of Republicans in Maryland that stand next to Wes Moore, the governor, and give him, Wes Moore, the cloak of bipartisanship when he is an avowed leftist.
Yep.
And he is destroying the Republican Party. He is going to redistrict. We have exactly one Republican member of Congress. One. He's going to redistrict Andy Harris out of his seat. And Republicans continue to stand next to him, okay, for cutting a ribbon for a library to get their 5 seconds of standing next to this governor who's beloved by Oprah Winfrey. That's counterproductive. You are damaging the party, and that's what guys, men and women who are in the Northeast don't understand. They think we have to be we have to work well with them. The people have to know. We have to distinguish ourselves. We have to stand on our own principles, and the voters are going to vote because the Democrats have destroyed these states. They have destroyed the Northeast economy.
Yep.
They have destroyed it with the Green New Scam, with environmentalism, with woke, with DEI, with destroying our education systems. And the voters have had a belly full, and we have to make sure that they understand it, and that we then obviously recruit good candidates who can tell those stories.
It's crazy.
That's how I do. That's how I try to talk to people about it. And it's sometimes people are open to that message, and some people say, "Oh, we need to, we have to work well with the Democrats." They don't want to work with us. They want to destroy us, and they want to eliminate us. Make sure we don't forget that Charlie Kirk was murdered 1 month ago yesterday.
Yeah.
And Charlie's message was of love. Charlie's message was of common sense. They couldn't beat him in a debate, so they murdered him.
No, he was a big part of all of our lives in summer this year, because he was up here in Maine August 2nd, and our group was part of making that happen. And we sponsored it, and it was just, and then for that to happen, like I'm sure you were close with him, just so much more significant than many people realize. And it's amazing to hear you speak, because literally our PAC is called Common Sense for Maine, and our strategy is to focus exclusively on the 80-20 issues and put a microphone in front of these buffoons and without the air cover from the Biden administration. And then finally, it's going deeper in the relationships and staying together and not giving the Democrats the playing field like you just articulated in Maryland. So super encouraging to hear you describe things that way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, David, I know you got to go. I'm getting noise from your guys that you got to go, and we got to go as well. It is always great to have you on, and I hope we have you back again soon. Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, well, anytime, happy to do it. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of great things happening in this country and around the world, and we just need to continue to spread the message of the good news.
Yeah, that's a great point, and there is a lot of good to talk about. David Bossie, as always, great to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.